Have you ever looked at a quiet dog and mistaken sadness for simple calm? Many dogs do not show sadness in dramatic ways, so their pain can hide inside ordinary routines. What people miss first is that a sad dog often becomes smaller in energy before becoming louder in behavior. Instead of obvious crying, the first signal may be a soft withdrawal from moments that once felt easy. A dog who used to greet owner at the door may still come close, but with a slower body and dimmer eyes. That change matters, because sadness often reduces the desire to initiate joyful contact. The first sign is a loss of interest in favorite rituals that used to light up the day. A sad dog may hear the leash move, notice it clearly, and still hesitate before walking over. The body is not refusing the walk itself, but showing that excitement no longer rises the same way. Sometimes the tail moves, yet the rest of the body stays flat, as if the happiness stops halfway. Owner may think the dog is simply tired, but emotional heaviness often looks exactly like low enthusiasm. The same pattern can appear around meals, toys, or the familiar sound of a treat jar opening. A dog does not need to reject everything to be struggling. Even a partial loss of joy is meaningful. When pleasure fades from several daily habits at once, sadness becomes much more likely than simple laziness. The second sign is sleeping more than usual, but in a way that feels emotionally distant. A sad dog may spend longer hours lying down, not in deep comfort, but in quiet disengagement. You may notice long stillness in the same corner, even when the home is active around them. And this matters because healthy rest restores energy, while sadness often creates a kind of emotional hiding. The dog is not always choosing sleep because the body is tired, but because the world feels harder to join. Owner may walk past several times and receive only a brief glance instead of a fuller response. That reduced participation is important because it shows the dog is pulling back from shared life. Some dogs even change sleeping places, moving toward isolated edges instead of familiar social spots. When a dog starts resting farther from the household rhythm, that distance can carry emotional meaning. Silence becomes the signal, because the dog is no longer asking to be included in the same way. The third sign is subtle social withdrawal, even when the dog still stays physically near owner. A sad dog may remain in the same room, yet stop seeking touch, eye contact, or playful checking in. This is easy to miss, because closeness in space can make humans assume closeness in emotion. But dogs often use tiny approach behaviors to show connection, and sadness can quietly reduce those efforts. Instead of leaning in, the dog may turn the head away or settle just beyond easy reach. That small choice creates emotional distance without creating obvious conflict, which is why many owners miss it. A dog who once followed owner from room to room may now pause and let the distance grow. Not every pause means sadness, but a repeated emotional fading across the day deserves attention. The fourth sign is a change in appetite or in the emotional style of eating. Some sad dogs eat less, not because the food is wrong, but because interest in the world has dulled. Others still finish the bowl, but without their usual alertness, anticipation, or satisfaction afterward. That difference matters, because appetite is not only hunger, it also reflects emotional engagement. Owner may see the dog eating and assume everything is normal, while the deeper signal is already changing. Watch the moments before the meal, because sadness often appears there before it appears in the bowl itself. A dog may approach slowly, sniff without energy, or pause as if motivation arrives late. Even treat-taking can change, becoming gentler, delayed, or strangely indifferent for a dog who once lit up. These small feeding shifts can reveal a lowered emotional spark long before illness seems obvious. The fifth sign is repetitive self-soothing behavior that looks minor, but happens more often than before. A sad dog may lick the paws, lick the lips, sigh often, or circle before settling again and again. These actions do not always mean sadness, but they can show the dog is trying to regulate inner tension. When emotion has nowhere clear to go, the body often repeats small, calming patterns. Owner may dismiss those moments as harmless habits, especially when each one seems brief on its own. But frequency changes the meaning, because repetition can be the body speaking in a quiet loop. Some dogs also stare at nothing for long stretches, as if attention has stopped attaching to the room. That blankness is not emptiness in the human sense, but it can signal emotional flattening. Another clue is that sadness often arrives after change, even when the change seems small to people. A new schedule, yes, less shared time, a missing family member, a move, a repeated tension in the home, can all matter. Dogs read emotional weather through rhythm, presence, tone, and predictability more than many people realize. So when the structure of safety changes, the dog may grieve stability before the owner notices anything wrong. This is why sadness is often misunderstood as stubbornness, aging, or a phase that will pass on its own. What looks like disobedience may actually be a softer nervous system with less emotional room to respond. And what looks like calm may actually be a dog conserving energy because joy feels harder to reach. The important question is not whether the dog is being dramatic, but whether the dog is becoming less present. If owner notices several of these signs together, the pattern matters more than any single moment. A sad dog is not asking for human pity, but for safety, steadiness, and gentle reconnection. Sometimes the most healing response is not bigger stimulation, but quieter companionship that asks for nothing. Sit nearby, restore routine, invite small choices, and let warmth return at the dog's pace. Because in many homes, the saddest dogs are not the loud ones, but the ones who slowly disappear while still standing right beside owner.